Hello, everyone.
I am so excited for this RAWK. We have all 5 Rockies here. And I really appreciate you, Patty, for staying up because I know you're in Ireland and it is early morning for you.
1 a.m. Very early.
So wow, thank you. And I have kind of tried to read the comments. Anne, I'm sorry about your dog. Tia, happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Tia!
And then the reveal that is tomorrow is the challenge reveal with
Catherine Wilson is her.
Catherine Wilson. Yes,
that's right.
I was trying to think of her name.
Yes, and that'll be happening at 12 noon Eastern Daylight Time.
Yes, because these two originally conflicted. So one of them was moved because a certain somebody here has to, well, a couple certain somebodies here have to be at one tomorrow. So yes. that will be good. Yes. I love RAWK because we get to work on the CC7s of everyday WikiTree members that got nominated, that get nominated. And this is 4 times a year, and this is our second one for this year. Yes, I had to think about that for a second. So, and I love it. So in order of the presentation, first up, yeah, I saw that, Tia. You have a great surprise. I love that when we break brick walls. Patty will be first. Okay. Stephen will be second. Greg will be third, and then Vicky, and then
Tamara.
I'm sorry.
You rocked her for an entire month.
Oh, yes.
It's okay.
Yeah. Because of spammers, I haven't been getting probably as much sleep as I need to because I stay up late greeting and covering. So, but if it's we get help with that, which is it's cut down quite a bit since they first started. So that's good.
That's good.
So Greg has the presentation. He's going to share it, and we can go ahead and get started.
Get rocking.
Get rocking.
Get rocking. Yeah. There we go.
Okay, so I'm going to go into slideshow mode, and let's see how that works for us. Okay. There we go.
Perfect.
And yes, the logo was changed, and I love the logo.
We will rock you. That's very cool. Yeah. Who designed that logo?
I have to give credit to Sandy Paddock, who I said, "Are you able to, possibly create something, with the WikiTree logo?" So that's what she came up with, and I tell you, I absolutely love it. So
it's awesome.
Okay. Next slide.
Okay, yeah, you're gonna have to ding. So I'm controlling the slides,
ding, ding.
But Patty's controlling the presentation. So it's like, when you hear the ding, turn the page.
Okay, so these are just the rockers who participated, and we go through that. And some of them have been doing this since the beginning, when we came up with this a couple of years ago for WikiTree Day. Ding.
Ding. Okay.
These are the people who were rocked. And yes,
I'm not Stephen Greenwood.
That's Stephen Greenwood.
It's a little interesting, isn't it? Am I Patty or am I Greg?
Yeah.
I probably need to work on that. Ding.
I love your Back to the Future pose there, Steve.
Oh, yes. That's an old photo.
That is great. I love it.
But I do use it as my primary on WikiTree before I upload any additional ones.
Yeah. So if you go to his WikiTree profile. Okay. So starting with the CC7, I check it the last day of the month preceding the month we're rocking, and then the first day of the new month. So the end of May, those are the starting numbers, and then the 1st of July, that's the ending number and what the increase is. If the percent growth is wrong,
That's just not right. That's
I'm not going to do the
115%.
calculation tonight. I'm sure it's fine.
I'm sorry, I key the numbers in on Google or whatever, Chat GPT or whatever it is. I use AI for that. So if the numbers are wrong, I'm not a number person. I don't have Greg.
Okay.
Well, look at Steve's percentage growth. Wow.
What did you guys do?
Yeah.
It doubled.
Wow.
Yes,
But look at Tamara's overall,
Yeah.
1,000 more.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Woo!
And I do have to say that Patty's ending number on July 1st is what it is. But as of this presentation, his ending CC7 is 1,000.
Woohoo! Way to go.
Because people were working behind the scenes.
Yay.
You can't stop people from contributing in the last 15 days, right?
Well, there were a couple people, or at least one, that couldn't during the month because they were so busy. And I didn't want to punish them for their calendar being so full, and they were able to do this. So, and I really appreciate, and I'm not going to stop anybody from rocking and keep going. Just because officially it's that month, it doesn't mean people can't continue going on. This weekend we have the Connect-a-thon. Hey, if you have more people that can be added to any of our Rockies, whether from June or previous, I say go for it.
Yeah.
Adding to the tree for the Connect-a-thon is what it's all about.
I'll actually have something to work on this time.
Yeah.
Yes. And the reason why Greg has 2 numbers there is because, like me, he was adopted.
The adoption.
So he has one profile that's biological and one profile for the adopted, and people were able to work on
both,
either profile or both profiles, whatever they felt more comfortable with.
That's excellent.
So
This is amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is great.
Wait to dig into the details. Ooh.
Yes.
And I had been a little worried about Vicky just because Vicky's down in Chile and I haven't worked in Chile before. So that was quite new, but she has done a lot of work over on Family Search and getting Family Search people over there. So it made it easier to bring people over into WikiTree.
Yeah, and I knew it would be difficult to work in Chile. Yeah.
So
yeah, I had a brief look, and I couldn't find any Quebec or Canada records in your.
So
for me,
yes, for you.
I don't have it.
I'm excited to announce that Patty, Stephen, and Vicky all received a 1K badge.
Yay! That's excellent.
There's one problem. I didn't receive the 1K badge. I think you need 1,001 to get the 1K badge.
1,001? We'll have
Not
to fix
yet.
that tonight.
When I checked this morning, he did not have it, but I did.
I checked just now and I still don't have it.
I emailed Betsy, who's a team member, about it, and she said that that's automatically awarded per AON.
They're awarded at 5 a.m. every day.
It might take 24 hours to.
I think somebody has put a greater than when they should have put a greater than or equals in the code.
It could be.
Oh.
Or put 1,000 in the code where they should have put 999 in the code. Anyway,
you stopped writing an even number.
One
That's
more
the
person
problem.
and I'll have it.
Yeah.
We'll have to
So
see.
I am doing my best to make sure that. But if you look at your page, it does say 1,000 contributions.
Oh, it does. Yeah.
Okay.
To me, you got your 1K badge.
I
It's just a matter of getting it to show up.
I deserve it.
Yes.
You
I
do.
was 994 yesterday morning, and I'd found 3 people on WikiTree who were 7 degrees from me. So I filled in the other 3 to connect them, and that did exactly 1,000 with 24 hours to go.
Yes.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ding.
Oh, Tara's back. Good. I was just going to say we lost her.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never have trouble with my internet, and for some reason tonight it's misbehaving.
Okay, well.
A lot of
It's misbehaving. I'm trying to send Greg an email, and it's stuck and won't go.
Oh.
So first up is Patty, who's been with WikiTree since 2011.
Wow.
He's a member of the Ambassador Connectors, One Name Study, One Place Study, and the Ireland Projects. He was a Meter member on 6 June 2022. He enjoys working with DNA, and he is a team leader in the Ireland Project.
Mm-hmm.
And I do take this information off of the person's profile. So if I'm missing anything and you need to expand, please let me know.
That's more or less right. I didn't do much for my first 10 years on WikiTree.
Oh, well, you're making up for it now.
I'd like
And
to
you
know
won
more
a big
about.
award last year. Do you want to share about that? There was
Award.
I
Fans
can't
of
remember.
Ireland gave me a medal.
Yes.
That's the one.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty
It
impressive.
counts.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. I wanted to know about his picture. What are you drinking?
What are you
there,
drinking?
buddy?
Water.
So there we go.
Still having water.
Yeah.
Giving a genealogy talk and getting hoarse and lubricating
Yeah.
my vocal cords.
Mhm.
Oh, look, he got so small.
So I love this graphic. And Greg, this is one of yours, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This
So-
is from the 6 Degrees app. And I've actually taken the circle chart and I've added it into the CC7 Views tree app. So if you go into the CC7, there's now a button where you can click on circles and it'll draw this exact same graph as well there.
So when I pull it, I go out to 7 degrees. So
Yes.
as you can see, the beginning of Patty's did not go out to 7 degrees.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at Patty's now, he's got a lot more rings, and his rings are pretty well filled in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the gray circles are the direct ancestors.
Right.
So I just love this
Okay.
visual. I really
Why
do.
are my 6th and
Wow.
7th degrees not on the original one?
Oh,
More
was
degrees.
it? Did you not have out to the 7th degree?
I
Did
had
you not
loads
have
of
anyone who
people.
was that far?
I had loads of people. I wouldn't be connected if I had nobody beyond the 5th degree.
Hmm.
Oh,
I think
Okay.
whoever did the screenshot probably just had it set to 5 generations instead of 7 or something.
Ah.
you know what happens is that when I go out to the 7th degree,
Oh,
it
it
takes
times
a
out?
long time to load it.
Ah.
And I bet you I did it before it. Okay.
That makes sense, actually, Pat. And that when you say that, yeah, you wouldn't be connected to
Yeah.
the tree if you didn't get further than 7 degrees. Yeah.
But what I am noticing,
5th degree and nobody in the 6th.
Yeah.
but I think there's like an extra direct ancestor that was added to the 5th degree. If you look in the green at the top, there's, oh, wait a minute. Now there's 2 instead of 3. I'm a little confused by that.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Did
11
he
of the
lose-
16.
Did he lose a
right?
direct ancestor? Because it went from 3 on the top. Do you see the 3 that are clustered together?
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
And now over here it's 2.
Well, you have to count. So in the gene, were we talking the first chart?
Yeah, comparing the first to the second. Now the second one has only 2 highlighted on the top within the green. You see
Oh,
that?
because they're a different circumference, the dots are going to be at slightly different places.
Oh, okay. So
There's a
where's
different
the other
number. There'll be a
one?
different number of beads in each ring
Yeah. The
Uh-huh.
because
Okay.
there's more dots. See, there's 3 rows, 3 rings in the purple or magenta.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So that means that the greens are going to have more per ring. So the positioning of each of those dots.
Well,
that
yeah,
have to
there's
go
there's 4 instead of 3 on the green. Yeah, I just
yeah.
wasn't seeing where that extra relative went to. But
And the
anyway,
other thing, the way the programming works is it queries the database for everyone in this degree and then plots them, but it plots them in the order in which the database gives them, and it randomly gives them, so they don't always come in the same order.
okay, I learned something today.
Yeah,
Thank you, Greg.
no problem.
Ding. Ding.
Ding, ding. There we go.
Okay. And then the fan chart.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And here's another piece of advice with the fan chart. For some reason, often I'm finding the first time you load the fan chart, it doesn't always space out that first circle properly. If you just click on the semicircle icon one more time, you'll get it spaced inside. Do you see that? See how?
yeah, I see that. I thought I fixed that.
No, that's okay. That's not you. That's the programmer.
It's an artifact.
Well, I did have it so that it drew it two drew it 2 or 3 times every time you loaded it, but it slowed things down, and I thought, I don't know if we want, especially once the fan chart became the default when you went into tree apps. I didn't want it to take twice as long to load every single time. So
Yeah,
I figured.
makes sense.
Anyways,
Ding.
it's a quick fix.
Yes.
Now, was that taken after everything was done?
Yes.
So that's the result now.
Yes, that's the
Okay.
result. That
What
should,
did it look
that
like
should
before?
have been the result on July 1st.
Mhm.
Okay. So, Patty, I don't know if you know this, but Noel Gallagher, the co-frontman of the British rockers Oasis and the frontman of his own band, Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds, and his brother Liam Gallagher, the lead singer of Oasis, and BDI are 8 degrees from you.
Ooh.
Third cousins once removed, as far as I remember.
Ah.
I've never met them.
No.
The first time I learned of that relation, I was told about the Gallaghers from the Oasis.
Mm-hmm.
The Oasis, by some of the relatives in County Mayo. And my uncle's pub is now called the Wishing Well. And I said, do you mean the Wishing Well rather than the Oasis? And they said, no. Then I caught who they were talking about.
Mm,
So I thought that was
that's
exciting.
very cool.
Next.
Yeah, probably some of my most infamous relatives.
Okay. So these are kind of a screenshot of your ancestors, the red dots being birth and blue being death. I just kind of did an overall shot for everyone rather than really focusing on some people, just to give a visual for some of this. So Patty did have a few that did immigrate to America, but it seemed kind of most from what the information came off of stayed.
One great grandfather went to Calgary and left his family behind in Ireland.
Looks like he escaped on this black line right down here.
Yeah.
And it looks like you only have one stray in Northern Ireland. The rest are
in Northern Ireland. I have no idea who that is.
They were only born. Apparently, they haven't died yet. I don't see a blue dot.
Right.
No.
That's interesting.
Well, the death information may not be on that profile. So that's
Could
the
be an
other.
incomplete profile
Straight to
too.
WikiTree Plus and look at it myself.
Yep.
You it is.
Yep. Okay. Next.
There we go.
Okay.
Durkins.
Then do you know about the Durkins, Thomas and Margaret?
Oh, I do.
Okay. That they had.
No, Thomas and Bridget, that should be.
Okay. Oh, these are your maternal grandparents.
Yeah, those are my
It's
two
Thomas-
uncles.
it's Thomas and
Okay,
Bridget,
had
yeah.
twin boys.
I don't remember Uncle Jim because he died when I was very young, but I remember Uncle Pat well.
Oh.
Okay.
That's nice.
Yeah, so, okay.
Mhm.
Then the Kroll family is 7 degrees from you.
Mhm.
The records for Charles Calvin Kroll and his wife and their children show that the family fell apart, maybe because of the Great Depression, maybe because of unemployment, or maybe Eliza Mary just wanted a different life. And Eliza Mary is his
Eliza May.
wife.
Eliza May? Okay.
Mhm.
So they were married in 1913 in Illinois and had their 7 children by 1925. 1930, they were living in Riverside, California, which is down in Southern California. By the 1930 census, Charles had no job and Mary was doing laundry in their home. Dorothy, their 10-year-old daughter, is found on a fruit farm with a bunch of other children, possibly picking fruit, but the census doesn't state the children have jobs. I can very well see children that age picking fruit on the farm
Mhm.
and them not, and it being a job, but not officially on the census.
Mhm.
So then Eliza May had a son, Benjamin B. Martinez, in 1934. In 1936, Charles Calvin Kroll dies. So a little scandal possibly right there, unless they were already separated, just not divorced.
Mhm.
The death notice only gives the children's name, and Eliza's not listed. Eliza's in the 1940 and 1950 censuses with Benjamin B. Martinez, and none of her other children are found with her. So it is possible that she left of her own accord. I don't know. But that could be an interesting story, that there may be follow-up on that. I just don't know.
I think there were a lot of second marriages in that part of the family in California.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
Mhm.
Okay, so Greg,
Yes.
it's all yours.
They want me to. Okay. So I'm the guilty person who didn't do any work for anyone in June, except for a bunch of other things. So July 1st comes along and I had some free time. So I decided I would work on some of Patty's tree. And Patty was very kind to give me access to his personal website that he set up for him and all his relatives. And so this is the opening page of that. It is an amazing website. And Patty, I'm very envious of all the work that you've done on this. So this is, okay, you've already seen his fan chart, but I've color coded the fan chart because I work specifically on the Clancy line, adding people on the Clancy line. Now, Patty did give me a hint that there were some Clancys who ended up in Canada. And so I was hoping I could find a connection and, that we'd be direct cousins or something like that. So basically I took Hugh and Marcella Clancy. They're in the outer edge right here of the purple. And I added any of the descendants that weren't already on WikiTree up to 7 degrees away from Patty. So basically up to his third cousins or first cousins 3 times removed, or any combination thereof, that were up to 7 degrees from Hugh downwards. So you can see all the people, all of those descendants. Now, I didn't do all of them in this list, but I did over 100 of them. So you can see the list of descendants for these. I've got it preloaded with starting at Hugh Clancy, showing up to 3 generations because that's how far I got in. Using the tree app called Descendants. So the Descendants tree app is really powerful. You can choose how many generations. You can choose different filters to show different people and whatnot. So this only gives you a quick, like this is just the very tip of the iceberg here So I zoomed in, or I zoomed out, I suppose, depending on which way you think of it, to make the font as tiny as possible to see if I could get them all on one screen. And this is, in fact, only 1/4 of all of them. This is only a quarter of the list. So
very big families.
It's a very, very big family. 8s and 10s and dozens of children.
I thought it was big when I knew about the 4 brothers who all lived in the same townland in County Clare. And I said they kept the local school going on their own with about 14 children each.
Oh, for sure. Oh, my goodness.
In recent years did I discover the other 2 siblings who'd gone to Toronto.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. And they kept the Toronto board going too, I'm sure. Incredible. And then they there was a lot of spreading out of just Toronto and Ontario into the States as well. Lots of stuff there. But one of the cool things I did find is I did find one of the children I was adding had married a McCormick. And I thought, well, there is a McCormick on that's actually a brick wall on one of my trees. So I thought maybe that's the connection. So I checked into the McCormick, but the McCormick was not it. But the McCormick was married. The father was a McCormick. The mother was Belle-Île, was a French Canadian, and there was the gold. So I found this marriage from. It was Hugh Clancy, not the Hugh that I started with, but his grandson, I think. Yes, through his son John. So Hugh Clancy, the grandson of the original one at the outer edge of the fan chart I was talking about, married Anne McCormick, and Hugh is a direct cousin of Patty. He's a first cousin 3 times removed, and Anne is my 6th cousin 4 times removed.
Mm-hmm.
So
that means that one of my cousins married one of Patty's cousins.
Oh.
Yay!
So if we could get in a TARDIS and do a little bit of time traveling, and there was a hall that was big enough, we could have been at the same event.
Well, do any of their children are those cousins of both sides then?
Yes, they'd be people that we'd both be related to. Yes.
Okay.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So now the secret to being able to do 100 profiles is that what I did was I took the WikiTree Sorcerer extension and I customized it for my computer, and I've created the Walden Sorcerer extension.
Wow.
You madman.
And so, Patty, tomorrow morning, I'm going to pack up all these files and email them to you with instructions so that you can install the Walden and Sorcerer extension on your own computer. And I'll just give you a quick show of how it works. First of all, I have to find. So here's the descendancy chart of Thomas Clancy, one of the ones I worked on. And I think, let's see if I go down through, let's see who one I haven't done yet. If I go to let's go to Ellen, and let's see, Ellen, Bridget. Okay, let's see. If I have Bridget, do we have Bridget's? We don't have Bridget's husband, so let's add Bridget's husband right now.
You need to zoom in a few steps, I think, Greg, or maybe things won't work if you do.
There we go. We're adding Bridget Clancy's husband, Michael. So I just have to go up to, and now I can't zoom in on here, but if I go to Manage Extension, you can see there, up in the little bar, instead of the little 1, it's a little W. So I can tell the difference between the Waldron Sorcerer extension and the official WikiTree Sorcerer extension. So I click on that. I save the person data. I go to Bridget.
This is live.
I add her spouse. This is going to get you to 1001. Or maybe it won't.
My badge at 5 a.m.
And then we're going to set the fields for Michael. Okay, we have to customize that. It doesn't like saying about, so we have to change that to estimated. And
Doesn't like more than 1 year.
it doesn't, and there's no, yeah. Oh, the date. We should grab that.
I have it.
Married the 19th of February, 1901. 19th
It
of
doesn't
February,
autofill
1901.
that. You still have to put that in manually.
19th February 1901. Yeah, I didn't actually figure out how to. Well, I didn't. There's a way of doing it, but at this point I thought, okay, I could play with the programming, or I could actually get to work and do some. But what I was able to do, and this took a little bit, but I'm glad I spent the time. All of these notes, this website that Patty's put together, he has been meticulous about noting and recording all this stuff, which is amazing. So it recognizes that this is a family search person, so it adds that. It takes all those notes, puts it in, and oh no, what? What?
Bad gateway.
There we go.
Oh, you had us for a second.
I know, and there we go. Newly created
Wow.
house,
Wow.
and it even has the link to the family search person.
Yay. Wow.
There you go.
Wow.
There you go, Patty.
Wow.
That is
I was-
incredible. Thank you so much.
I
Greg.
was so excited when Greg said he had done this and he worked on Patty's. And he said, would you like me to do a little demo? And I'm like, yes, I'd be crazy not to have you demo this with, Patty being here,
Wow.
especially with the Connect-a-thon coming up.
Yeah.
And is there any reason it won't work with any TNG website?
Well, when I first did, I did talk to Rob. Now Rob's been on holidays for the last month, and because of the way the URL is set up, that TNG isn't the domain name. It won't work right now with the way that the sourcer, because the sourcer looks at the domain name, which would have to be TNG dot something, not P Waldron and then /TNG. But when Rob gets back, I'll show him what I've done. I'll share with him as well with you. So for now, it's just the two of us locally installed will work. And we can customize it to work on other people who have local installs. But when Rob gets back, maybe there's a way that we can figure out how to make it work for all TNG sites.
Rob is back.
Rob is back. Okay.
He is
Well,
back.
He's back. Well, then we'll have to set up a chat.
Absolutely.
So,
That's incredible.
oh, good.
So,
Incredible.
Greg, thank you for that. I can tell by just looking at Patty that he is super excited that you were able to create that, and just with a few clicks, just like Sorcerer, to
Yeah, well.
move people over like that.
So you might use it this weekend. There might be a situation.
I'm
If you've
out
signed
and
up for
about on the
Connect-a-thon.
weekend. I should sign up for Connect-a-thon, but I won't have much time over the weekend.
Oh, that's too bad. Oh, okay.
Okay.
So,
I'm not sure the family search bit will work in general for TNG, because that's my own convention as to how I put in the family search links.
well, because I knew that you used that convention all that time, I did a search and replace, and so I changed that text into the template, which I added so that's why.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is incredibly nerdy.
You're
Greg. I
amazing.
don't know how you're going to top that.
It's a little nerdy.
You can't.
I don't think you could top that, Greg.
Oh, he's a developer. I'm sure he'll be able to top it somehow.
These guys first. Oh, look, it's me.
So now we're on to Stephen.
Go back to your version number, Greg.
What's that?
I've
Go
been
back
on
to the
WikiTree
version
since-
number of the previous slide.
The version. Oh, the version number.
The version number, yes.
Yeah.
Version 2.10.1.11007. If I didn't see your WikiTree ID under your face,
Yes,
I
it
think
is.
you really do want to
Well, great artists have to sign their work somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's why I
think
signed
it's
my
a
work
different signature.
in the version number.
Yes.
And what's Becco Echo Echo blah blah?
Well, that's just a random. They assign random blah, blah, blahs to the ID. I don't know where that comes from, but that's not me. That's not my work. That's when the local install does that. Yeah.
It's not your signature.
That's not my signature. No.
Certainly unique.
We'll be learning a lot about writing extensions.
I did learn a lot. They're more difficult than tree apps, I think. So
Okay,
Thank you so much.
you're welcome. You're welcome.
so Steve
Should we
is
move
next.
on to Steve?
He's been a WikiTreeer since 2018.
No, I wasn't.
No.
Slight correction, 2020.
Ooh.
I'm not sure where that date came from.
I take him off the profiles. Oh, you know what? Okay.
What?
It's fine.
I know what I did. That was my goof. Okay, but I do have
Yes,
the
right.
projects correct, right? The global Germany notables, one
Yeah,
place.
yeah. That's all good.
Okay.
Yeah. I was like, I don't remember joining 2 years before this. I was a pandemic join, so I heavily related
Okay.
to that. But I know that I've had some other people on site before I got here, so maybe I was here in spirit.
I was
Yes.
a pandemic join, but I had an account 10 years before that, which I hadn't used.
Oh,
Yeah, some people were like that.
Yeah. So he's a team leader for the Germany project and he participates in Thons. And do you switch teams or are you usually with like the Germany genies?
I am with the Genies again this year because I'm usually working on German profiles out of Wisconsin, which still counts. And our team is awesome and usually better than Team Italy.
Oh.
Ooh.
Higher ranked in the funds, but we'll see what happens. You guys have a challenge this time.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, maybe I need to step up my game this time.
Wait for Chris to comment.
Friendly
It's friendly
Yes, we all-
competition, guys. It's
Friendly
all for
competition,
the greater
that's right.
good.
We all forget 2020 for a reason. Yes, we do all forget 2020 for a reason. Okay. So then here's your circle chart, which doesn't look like much of a difference at all, which means I probably,
Did you copy the same thing twice?
I think I copied it twice.
I've seen some variations. Some of the
There are
little
some
Yeah.
marker
variations,
dots
but-
are in different spots.
it's more dense.
Yeah, it is more dense.
Yeah, maybe
Mhm.
around the 6th and 7th.
So there's 3. That is interesting.
Like close.
That is very interesting.
4 there.
I mean, I know there's definitely one grandparent that goes nowhere because I still know nothing about them, unless something happened. But as far as I'm aware, yeah, no one has attacked it, so that wouldn't have changed.
Okay.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Okay. Next slide, Greg.
Yeah. There we go.
The fan chart.
It is.
Ah.
Oops.
Your paternal side kind of looks very filled out, whereas the maternal side looks like it really needs some work done.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, that's been the struggle. So I don't know outside of a name who my grandfather is on my maternal side.
Oh.
He married my grandmother at some point in the past, had my mother, and then they separated and she married another man and they came to America. So as far as I'm aware, he's still in Germany, but I don't know if he's alive. So that's why he's a private individual, because I couldn't actually confirm if anything happened. And that's why there's this hole
Right.
there on that part of the chart. But my grandmother's side, I was able to, with some help from Germany Project, and we were able to extend it a little bit. Oh, that's a dog. Anyway, so yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
No data. Oh, right. You asked me for help with this. Yes, because if we go back, because both of your parents are private, a lot of apps can't get beyond that hurdle to add the extra data on the other side.
So this is what happens when you have private. And Greg told me how to get around doing it, and I ran out of time to.
Okay.
That's right. I
do
added some
that.
extra programming in the fan chart to do that, to leapfrog over private parents, and then I just call them private father and private mother. And then
Right.
just randomly give them a WikiTree ID, private 101, private. I don't know where private 102 is. There's somewhere in your tree is a private 102, private 103, and here's a private 104.
Well, yeah, and technically a private, grandparent in each side as well, which probably doesn't
Right.
help.
Oh yeah, there's another. Yeah, there's more privates there too.
Yeah.
So I've done programming. Not every tree app's been able to do that, and the WikiTree Plus server doesn't even have private profiles to call from. They're only public profiles.
Okay.
Now.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, if you need my assistance on anything, please let me know if you want trusted list access or anything to be able to get around those hurdles.
If he logs in, he should be able to see it on his own account going to WikiTree Plus.
Yes, if you go into your fan tree,
Right.
you should be able to see it. Yeah. But
Yeah,
knowing
you'll be
that
able
you
to
guy
see.
recognizes me, yeah.
But knowing that you have two private parents, I could use you as a test case in for some other apps.
Okay. Yeah, just let me know.
That's good to know.
All right, so I don't have any ancestors.
You have no ancestors. We have no idea where they came from. Well, we do know, right?
We do know, but that's what happens when the apps can't jump over private
That's curious.
people in your so. Burl Lovely Hauser was born in Tennessee. Now, Lovely is a very interesting middle name for a man born in Tennessee.
I was also born in Tennessee.
Which I completely agree with. I can definitely see Lovely as either a first name or middle name for a girl, but not for a man.
Well, I feel like, is it a surname from a different ancestor that got picked up?
Yeah, maybe.
That's what I'm thinking, is maybe on the maternal side it was Lovely and they used it as the middle name, because I do know even now
I see that a lot, actually.
the mother's maiden name becomes the old one. Oh, Maggie says it must be an old surname. Yeah, it probably is an old surname.
Mm-hmm.
But they're Knox County. Yeah, Knoxville is a cool place.
Yes. Next, we have Henry Jones, who was a deacon, and his wife, Keturah Bond Jones, moved to Albion, New York, 5 years after the town was organized, and they were original members of the Albion Baptist Church.
So I think I know the pathway to these people, because Oswego County, New York would connect to somebody that married into my paternal grandparents' side. So I think my grandmother married a man who had a lot of connections to New York. And it eventually was the Hiltons. Do you see any connections to the Hiltons in that area of the tree?
I'm going to ask you to do me a huge favor.
Mm-hmm.
Turn to the person next to you.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
And say, were you the person that found this information? And my question is geared towards you.
Yeah, I'll find it.
Okay.
Because I want you to know that B was an incredible help and did a lot of work on your branches.
Oh, nice.
So
they are a machine. I got to say, they were constantly involved, and I very much appreciate it.
Yes. Then we move on to Carl Owens, who was a private and was a member of the Reconnaissance Company Headquarters Battalion, 1st Marine Division, and was killed in action during the Korean War at the age of 18.
In North Korea.
North Korea.
There's some Ohio people in the family, yeah.
Yeah, I'll find this.
So I believe that profile probably could use blinging up with more military stuff. I mean, it does have a little bit right there.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that there are some people that they like doing the military stuff and can bling it up. So,
Welcome back, Becky.
Oh,
yes. So it just, as a mother, my heart hurts when I see all these people, men and women, that are killed in a war, that are young, that haven't had a chance to be married and, start their own family. That's
Mhm.
My heart goes out to all those families and all those families where they do have active military people in their family right now.
Mhm. Yeah.
Definitely support all of them. Okay, so next we go on to
Oh.
Greg.
Hey.
And it says you're a WikiTree since 2025, and I know that's not true.
Nope. I was 2018. I joined in 2018 because that's the year I found my birth family.
Yes. And he's an app developer for WikiTree, as you can tell by what he did for Patty. And he co-hosts the Saturday Roundup with Betsy and our very own Vicky, who's here. He's on the Hacktober Fest team, and he participates in thons, switching between the Canadian and the Italian teams. And then he enjoys working with DNA and the DNA Project, and your DNA Project member.
That's right. That's me. Okay.
So there's yours. And see.
So that one definitely looks denser.
Yeah, yours does look denser because on the left, it only has 2 rows of the pinkish purple, and on the right, it has 3 rows.
Oh, yes. There we go. Yeah.
So that's
the yellow one is bigger too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yes.
Very cool. 300 more. Excellent.
Yes.
And there we go. Yeah.
And there's your fan chart.
Yeah.
Well, no gaps there. Jeez.
I know. And the cool thing is that I have done the DNA confirmation for all of those. I've been able to find enough cousins in the right order and the right combinations to be able to do that.
And you have photos for a lot too. Oh,
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, except I'm missing a few. Like that. I mean, I should be happy of what I've got, but the ones that I'm missing drive me nuts. I want to have a complete set.
And
You have a lot.
I know. I'm lucky. That way.
And this is Greg's biological.
This is my
His biological.
Yeah. My birth name was Kelly John Douglas. So you could be calling me Kelly, if things had changed or had worked out differently.
Kathy, you forgot to say that Greg is Santa, Secret Santa.
Secret Santa. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, I did leave that up. Well, I should have put the,
That's okay. Okay.
And then there's Greg's, and he knows his because he was the one that showed me about this and everything. So
That's right. Yeah.
But his is just kind of really condensed.
Yeah, that's right. And the reason I took the DNA test in the first place was because I wondered whether my biological mix up was the same as my adoptive side. So it was English, Irish, Scottish, and a little bit of French. And it is those same 4 ethnicities, except that the French is actually a full half. 50% is all French. Instead of a little bit of French, it's a lot of French.
Wow.
Yeah.
But the ratio is different, but the mix is still the same. So that was kind of cool. Oh, Ashley.
Then we have Marjorie Ashley. Have you heard of her?
No, but I mean, Ashley was actually my biological dad's middle name.
Okay.
So that's what I think it's his mother's father's or mother's. So, anyways, yeah.
Worked as a film inspectress for Paramount Movie Pictures in the 1940 census.
Very cool.
Wow.
And I even took a snip from there just to put it on there so you could see it actually
neat.
like that.
Film inspector.
I Googled what a film inspectress was, and it came up with a film inspector is responsible for examining film stock for defect, damage, or deterioration, ensuring its quality and suitability for use. They check reels to see if there are any scratched, tears, or any other issues that could affect viewing or preservation. And I thought I had my Wikipedia link on there for citing my source.
No, well, I'm sure I know you said, I'm sure you cited a source somewhere, so that'll be fine. It'll probably be in the notes. Yeah, very cool.
So
And
Then we
Caldwell
got-
Ashley is the name of one of my great grandfathers. So it looks like that might be his father or grandfather might also have been a Caldwell. So that's obviously a family name.
Okay, then we get to Rose Loader Ashley, who was born in England and moved to Ohio before 1880.
Mm.
She married Caldwell Ashley on 18 November 1891 in
Oh, Cuyahoga.
Cuyahoga County, Ohio. Thank you. I never know how to say that. She
Cleveland,
and
yeah.
Caldwell had their first child, a boy, on 31 October 1892.
Mm.
Baby boy Ashley died of cholera when he was 4 months old on 24 February 1893 in Cleveland, Ohio. Their daughter Marjorie was born 1894 in Cleveland and was the informant on her mother's death certificate.
Okay, so that would be so that's the that's the Rose Loader here, the mother of the film inspectress.
Yes.
Yes, and so the baby who died was her brother. Yeah.
Yes.
Neat.
Okay.
Okay. Ooh, what do we got here?
That is
Everything's the old-fashioned way.
Okay. Oh, look at this.
so Patty was the one that worked on your lines, like you worked on his lines, and he sent me a couple of shots. So this was the Douglas one.
Okay.
And I agree. Sometimes I agree with Patty that sometimes it's just easier to write things out,
Yes.
to have that visual that's right there, so you can do that.
Okay.
So I just thought it was really cool that he sent it to me so that I could share it. So
Oh, neat.
you have that.
I
Okay.
spent 2 afternoons in the representative church body library with my laptop typing
Oh, wow.
extracts from the Temple Shanbo parish registries.
Oh,
And I was dizzy at the end of it, and I just needed to put it all on one sheet of paper to get my head around.
Yes. Amazing.
So I
So-
think
Wow.
you knew there were 2 William Douglases in Shropmore Townland
Okay.
in the Tithe of Plotmans,
Mm-hmm.
and we weren't sure which was your ancestor and which was the other one.
Right.
One was down as William Senior and the other was William Junior.
Right. Right. Right.
I don't think they were father and son.
You
I
don't think so?
I don't think so,
Oh.
because one married in 1821 and another married in 1833.
Ah.
And then we had to wait 20 years in one of the baptisms. Finally, your ancestor, I think, was down as William Senior in the baptism record of his last child. But of course, he could have been junior in 1824 and become senior by 1844. So
Right.
still not
Yeah, because
100%.
William and Anne, those are my greats right there.
Yes.
For sure. The
And
ones married in
William and Martha Monaghan also went to Canada. I made a profile for William. I haven't added any of his relatives yet.
Okay.
But the most interesting one is Elizabeth, 3 from the right, married Henry Hatton.
Okay.
And they had a descendant called Jack Hatton
Okay.
who went to Ontario
Mhm.
and lived with his cousins, the Douglases, your ancestors,
Oh.
and served in the First World War with the Canadian forces and survived up to the 1970s.
Oh, wow.
I actually found a descendant of the Hattons in your DNA matches, and I found another descendant of the Hattons
Oh.
still living in Wexford, who has a wonderful album on Facebook
Oh,
of
wow.
about 20 images to do with Jack Hatton, including a screen grab of your WikiTree profile of your William Douglas.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Jack Hatton, in his service record, named as his next of kin 2 generations of your Douglases from Markdale. Was that the town?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That's where they had.
He seems to have gone to live with the Douglases in Markdale.
Oh, wow.
He was no closer than a second cousin. So if Elizabeth and William at the top of that page, Elizabeth
Right.
and William Sr. were brother and sister, Jack would have been living with his second cousin. So,
Right.
and Elizabeth and her descendants are already on WikiTree. So I haven't connected them because I haven't quite enough proof, but I have a very strong hunch that we have a sister of William Sr.
Oh, neat. Oh, that's very cool. That's very cool. Nice. Now, did you find the marriage record of William and Anne, or no?
No, just the marriage license bond which you had.
Right, which was the one.
And
Yeah.
we didn't know what diocese they married in, but I discovered that the dioceses of Ferns, Leighlin, and Ossory were all united in the Anglican Church.
Right.
So the index entry that you had said Ossory, but
Right.
the index actually covered all three dioceses.
So it could have been anywhere.
So would have been anywhere, but when I saw Ossory, I said she must have come from a long way from Shropmore, which is in Ferns.
Right.
But when I saw that Ferns is covered in that index, I think they probably did marry in the Diocese of Ferns.
Neat.
And I don't think I came across a single Percival in the Temple Shanbo
Interesting.
parish registries.
Yeah.
So it would
Okay.
have been from the next parish, but there were no Percivals in the parish into which she married.
Right. Wow,
And
this is very cool.
the birth dates of the children were interesting.
Mhm.
I think that Richard had exactly the right birth date on his death certificate in Canada.
Oh,
Same
yeah.
date, the baptismal record, but the father's name was wrong in the death record. Whereas I think it was Walter or William Jr. had the
Mhm.
parents' names on the death record in Canada, but the birth date was out by several years.
So these birthdays, you found the actual birth records for each of these
Baptism records, yeah.
baptism records.
But
So I
the
finally
records
know
of
because
both
every
birth and baptism
census
dates.
was a different, calculated back to a different birth date. So that is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Well, I always say back in the days before the old age pension, nobody remembered when they were born. Nobody knew when they were born, and nobody cared when they were born. And then some census enumerator would crop up every 10 years and say, "What age are you?" And they just pick a number out of thin air.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and you found a new sibling that I didn't even know about. An Anne.
And who died as a child. I think I have a death date in there as well.
Mm. Wow.
Everything got squeezy in as I ran out of space on my one sheet of paper.
Wow.
Anyway, I'm trying to send you all the notes, but my email is playing up. So
That's okay.
I'll send it from Gmail instead of Yahoo. Maybe Yahoo is playing up, or maybe
Sure.
my internet can't handle StreamYard and emails at the same time.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway, when we're done on StreamYard, hopefully I'll get it to go through to you.
The
Oh,
next one.
Thank you so much, Patty. That's great. Oh, there's more.
There's more.
Oh, that's
You
right.
knew, I think, that there was a Douglas married to a Tackerbury,
Right. Right.
and we couldn't be quite sure whether Mrs. Tackerbury was the daughter of William and Anne Percival.
Right.
But if you go back to the Douglas chart, you see William and Anne. The girls are missing.
Yes.
I just have a note that Eliza should be there in the gap between James and Samuel.
Oh, right. Okay.
So we know Eliza married in 1845, age 19 or something. So she was much too old to be Martha Monaghan's daughter. So she has to be Anne Percival's daughter.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And the reason I don't have Anne's surname there is the Church of Ireland registers. They never put the mother's maiden surname in the baptism record. So
Wow.
Percival doesn't appear anywhere in the register, even though
Right.
there's 6 children of a Percival mother.
Yeah.
So I thought it might be easy to put all the Tackerburys together, but there's just as many Tackerburys as Douglases.
That's hilarious.
I think Elizabeth was already on WikiTree, and I connected her to her parents.
Nice.
Even though I didn't find her baptism, I ruled out the other William as a possible father. We knew from her marriage record that her father
Right.
was one of the 2 Williams.
Perfect. That's great. Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you, Patty. That's excellent. Wow.
Okay. So then
Okay.
we get to his adopted.
Oh, the Clarks and McIsaacs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Work is needed there, but
Well,
okay.
it's the Irish, you hit that 1800 brick wall, right? Just like I have on my
Yes.
Douglas side. Yeah.
Yeah.
but some of it's going back. Oh yeah, okay. There's the nice.
So does it look like there's a little more filled in since you last looked at it?
Let's see, Jean Baptiste. Okay, so there's the Quebec, the Fontaines, John McIsaac. I'm not sure if I had added that one before or not. This looks good. Yeah, I think there's some new stuff there. Marlowe. Oh, John Marlowe. That's a new name. I knew about Anthony Marlowe. Did I know about Mary Swain? I'm not sure. I think those two names are new for sure.
And if I remember correctly, Anne, who's in the chat, was working on your adoptive line, if I remember. That's right,
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, the McTaggarts, yeah.
So Bernard Duffy was born in County Tyrone, Ireland, and came to Ontario, Canada sometime before 1860. He married Isabella McTaggart. They were married in the Church of the Guardian Angels in Orillia, Simcoe, Canada.
That's where I play right now. That's my church where I'm the music director.
Oh.
They are your maternal great-great-grandparents, and they had 10 children.
Yeah, the Duffys are always a large family.
Do you know the origin of the surname McTaggart?
McTaggart, no.
Or McIntaggart?
McIntaggart. We usually call them McIntaggarts, or at least there's the family nowadays is called McIntaggart around this area.
You're the same surname. Soggart is the Irish word for priest. So McIntaggart is the son of the priest.
Son of the priest.
Oh.
That should never happen, and technically, right?
Sometimes we say it could happen to a bishop. It's a very famous Irish bishop a few decades ago. It did happen.
It did happen, yeah.
There is another Irish surname, Mochanaspic, and Aspic is a bishop. So Mochanaspic is the son of the bishop.
Well, that's funny.
So I did pull their marriage information from the book.
Nice.
So.
Oh, that's a different one, yeah.
Yeah, that's a different one. And because the book is 2 pages, you have like the groom on this side and then the other on this side. And because we have to be careful about copyright, I always just do a little snippet.
Yeah.
So he's on the top, she's on the bottom.
Yeah.
So then the next one is really interesting.
Okay, Mary Morgan. Oh, the mother of Bernard Duffy. Interesting legal drama with a brother John around the time of his mother's death. John protested and then Bernard counter-protested. Oh no. Followed by a string of character witnesses that in general state that John is unfit to manage Mary's estate. John died on the 24th of October. And there's a nice citation too.
There's my citation.
There's a citation. Wow.
So, and when I clicked on the link to the document on Ancestry, it's just page after page after page after page. And I said, well, I'm just going to take this little snippet here.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
And then you'll have fun reading about it. But I'm just like,
wow.
You have one that's protesting, the other one county protests about it, and then one dies.
That's right. Well, thank you. Thank you, everyone who worked on this. Patty, thanks for all that extra work in the archives. That's fantastic.
Yes.
And you also work on the other side too. That's great.
Then we get to Vicky.
Yeah.
WikiTree since 2020.
Oh, it's like a lottery.
Oh, okay.
It's 2023.
Okay. I need to not be doing these slides at 1 a.m. in the morning anymore.
No, that's the problem. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Remember the global Germany, cemeteries, Spain, Latin America, and the ambassadors projects. You participate in the thons.
Yes.
And like I said with Greg, you're the co-host of the Saturday Roundup with Betsy and Greg. And you came up with the mystery box idea, which Greg helped you with.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent.
And since you called out about Greg being Secret Santa, we also need to say you're also with the Secret Santa.
Yeah, she joined us this year.
I'm an elf.
You just joined last year along with Danita and Christine and I, and very wonderful having extra
Extra help.
you and Danita helping us
Yeah.
this past year. So thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Then there's yours.
Oh, went from 3 rows of blue to 4 rows. There you go.
Yes.
That's awesome.
And then her fan chart.
Oh, look at nice how full that is. That's nice.
Yeah.
And on this one, I went out an extra generation just so you could see that the last one that has everyone, there's only one couple that's not listed.
Yes. It looks great.
Yeah. And you've got lots of pictures there too. Nice.
Yeah. Well, I have many I haven't uploaded yet.
She just needs to upload them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. There's so much to do. Oh, that's interesting.
And then there's yours. So
that looks cool.
Yeah, except I would have expected a lot more from Spain, I guess.
Spain?
Than Germany.
I think if you zoom in, maybe you'll see more.
Or are they all all under one dot?
If you could, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
So where are the Germans concentrated? I'm just curious, being a part of the same project. Is it northern, western?
Yeah, it's north.
Where are they on your fan chart, the Germans?
The Borchers, right?
They're in the orange.
Maternal.
Part. Yeah.
Oh, here we are. Oh, there's Germany right there. Oh, Prussia.
Yeah.
And then, is that Prussia? Albert was born in Prussia?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
that's a German immigrant who came to Chile.
Peter Wilhelm. That
they
sounds German.
lived. They lived close to Hamburg.
Oh, that's close to where my people are from, outside of Hamburg.
Well, yeah, they were from a little city called Itzehoe.
Okay. Yeah, so Lower Saxony would probably be within that state.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I haven't worked a lot on that side of the family because you need to learn, as you know, Stephen.
Right. I mean, I'm working in that area all the time with my ancestors, so reach out if you have any questions on German stuff.
Oh, yeah, I will. Yeah, they were kind of left behind.
Okay.
Oh, here we are.
So the twins, Ernst Anders and Johannes Anders, were born in 17 March 1903 in Itzehoe, Steinberg,
Schleswig-Holstein.
Yes, there we go. Son of Peter Frederick Heinrich Anders and Dorothea Frobesi. Not sure. And then, yes, twins run in the family. And I know that because Vicky joined us for the RAWK research party, and I kind of asked her, and she said yes. So.
Yes.
I didn't want to give too much away, but she said, yeah, twins run in the family. So.
And in my Blanco side, too, we have paternal, we have a lot of twins, too.
Yeah.
Wow. Twice the fun.
I like finding twins.
Right.
You mentioned my uncles who were twins, but not my paternal grandfather, who was an identical twin, which changes all the DNA comparisons.
Oh, yes, that would.
So for Adolf Borchers, the son of Peter Wilhelm Nicholas Albert Borchers and Maria Meta Helene Bronze, was born on 9 July 1897 in Altona, Hamburg. Deutschland. Vicky, you said you hadn't been able to find a death certificate, and a death certificate was found, and sadly, Adolf lived for a half hour.
Wow, you did.
And
Wow. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
image that's on the profile is it.
Wow. Thank you so much.
Oh, there.
So
Yeah.
I don't know who it was that found it because it wasn't me. I was the one that found the twins, but I didn't find that one. So
I'll look for that and thank them. That's important because Adolf was a brother of my great grandparent who came to Chile, great grandfather. And nobody in the family knew that he had a brother. So I suspected, as I didn't find any death certificate, that he would have lived shortly.
yes.
So great.
Man.
Finally, confirmation.
Yes.
Mhm.
Wow.
So
Thank you. It's great.
okay.
You didn't say anything about the Maben family, Kathy.
You want to take that, Patty?
I can take that. Yeah. Do you want? Can I share my screen?
Yeah.
Sure.
Greg,
Oh.
can you let him?
Yeah. I will stop sharing. So you should be able to present now.
Can you see that?
I have to thank Patty for his nomination.
Yes.
Coming in now. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's not the
Patty
first time that
nominated
he.
Greg and Vicky. So
Yeah,
very
and it's
much.
not the first time that he helps with my ancestors.
yes.
I tried
I
under
really
Secret
appreciate.
Santa as well.
What did you find?
Can you see my screen with Andrew
Yes.
Maben
Yes.
Senior?
Yes.
Maybe zoom in just one more.
Zoom in one more.
Can you zoom?
Can you zoom in a little bit just to make it show a little bigger?
Just a tad.
Yes.
The email that I'm trying to send Greg is getting in the
Oh no.
right. It'll get through eventually.
Oh, good.
Zoom in one more. That better?
Yes.
So there is an article by John Maben Gilmartin, who I actually met once. I gave him a lift home from an event in the Italian ambassador's residence about 10 years ago.
Oh,
That's
wow.
amazing.
Called Andrew Maben, the Meath Hospital, and Samuel Beckett. And it is freely available on JSTOR.
Nice.
And I haven't connected Vicky to Samuel Beckett because all the article says is that Samuel's matrilineal ancestor Maben was either a daughter or a granddaughter of the first Andrew Maben. But he says in this article that every Maben in Ireland is descended from the same Andrew Maben. And we know that the Blests in Chile, Vicky's ancestors who are on her tree, were noted Chilean writers. Samuel Beckett is a noted Irish writer. And Andrew Maben's descendants also include Harper Lee, the American novelist who wrote To Kill a Mockingbird.
To Kill a Mockingbird.
Wow.
Yep.
There is definitely a literary gene. And the reason I honed in on the surname Maben is I knew there was a distant cousin of mine married to a Maben, Cleana Joan Maben, Vicky's cousin, married Oliver Patrick Noel Fitzgerald, my third cousin twice removed.
Wow.
Yesterday I said I'd better make a profile for Alexis Fitzgerald, who is notable because he was an Irish politician and Lord Mayor of Dublin. So
and I'm connected to them too. I'm connected to the Fitzgeralds through the Carols too. I know there's a connection, and I need to work on that. So we're related.
Is quite a common name. We have cousins in common, just like Greg and I have cousins in common.
Excellent. Right.
Great.
So with the right time machine and the large enough hall.
You're all connected.
We need your charters.
Yeah.
If you look at Alexis on Wikipedia, he's called Alexis Fitzgerald Jr. because his uncle was Alexis Fitzgerald Sr., who was also a politician.
Yeah.
He had a junior, even though it wasn't a direct lineage, it was an uncle.
It was uncle and nephew, just because they had exactly the same name. They were both I think Alexis Jr. took the seat of Alexis Sr. in the Irish Senate when Alexis Sr. retired.
Mhm.
So that was the only way to distinguish them, even though they were uncle and nephew. And there were other Alexises. His grandfather, who I haven't filled in, was Alexis, and that's where the name came from. So I think there were 3 first cousins, Alexis, all called after their grandfather.
They didn't go with like red Alexis, long Alexis, and
They might have done in the old days. Yeah.
It seems like Fitzgerald's, yeah, will definitely need some expanding. There's lots of little rabbit holes.
Actually, when Alexis was in the Parliament, the Prime Minister, the Taoiseach, was Garrett Fitzgerald, and Alexis Sr. and Garrett were great friends, but every time they were mentioned in a political story, the 2 Fitzgeralds, who are not related, had to go into the news item.
Who were not related.
Garrett's son and Alexis's son got together and set up an auctioneering company, which is now one of Ireland's biggest auctioneering companies, Sherry Fitzgerald, real estate agents. So again, the 2 families were in business together, but every article about that says the founders, who were not related,
Who were not
Mark Fitzgerald and Alexis.
Yeah.
Not related.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah. Neat.
Wow, the Mavens.
So I think I brought myself 8 degrees closer.
Going to
Wow.
Somebody take it out of the show.
So that's the correct spelling of the surname with AI. Maven. Sorry, I'm talking about Maven.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the most commonly used, but I think even in Alexis's birth record, it's indexed as Maiban because it's quite an unusual name. So
yeah, because I've seen it with AY.
Records, they interpret it in different ways. But in the journal article, it's definitely Maiben.
That's super cool.
Andrew Maben was a Protestant, an evangelical Protestant or a dissenter or something, who set up his own church in Sligo. And his main follower was his son-in-law, who was he Blessed? Was he Andrew as well? I can't remember his first name now.
Yes, Andrew Blessed. Yeah, John Blessed
married Andrew Maben's daughter. And took over from his father-in-law as the minister in the church.
Wow. You know, through WikiTree, I met a distant ancestor or relative of the Blessed from Sligo. And she lives in South Africa, and we met last year. She came to Chile with her husband, and so I got to show her where the Blessed family was around in Chile. That was super cool. So she would be interested in this.
There are many descendants of the Mabens still in Ireland, so we'll try and find some for you to meet when you come here.
Wow. Yay. Great. Wow. This was a surprise.
Excellent.
Yeah, super. So thank you. Thank you.
I think I was 8 degrees closer to Vicky after I did that than we were originally.
Nice. Good work, Patty.
So
yes, excellent. Thank you.
Yay!
Tamara!
We get to Tamara, who's been, she's a fairly new WikiTreeer. She joined in 2024, and she's a member of the Appalachia and the United States project.
Are you still sharing my screen, or have you switched?
No, I switched over.
He switched over to
another monitor here, but it hasn't updated.
Okay.
So I do know that the Appalachia project has their own server, and they were working on her, where everyone else was kind of over in the main server in the RAWK channel, which is fine. So it's just, that's how it is when you have projects that are involved, depending on the level of people that are helping.
Look at that.
So hers, you can definitely see how it's slightly
1,000.
bigger on the
Tamara,
left.
that's great.
and-
So you gained 1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you to everyone that worked on this. They did an amazing job. Thank you so much.
Wow.
Yeah, I believe it was mostly people in the Appalachia Project that work on it.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and Biscuits and Tim
Yeah.
Tams.
Amanda's right. Tamara's been very patient waiting for us to
Yes,
stop talking.
very patient. It's,
Sorry,
it's
Tamara.
hard. It's hard being last, but
That's right.
that's
Well, when you
okay.
have an Irishman with the gift of the gab and the rest of us descended from Irishmen.
Canadian with a better gift of the gab.
What's that?
And the Canadian with a better gift of the gab.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I figured this was going to be about as long as the Saturday roundups
Oh
are.
no,
so-
please no. No.
Okay, let's get to her.
There we go. Oh,
And
nice.
there's
old
her
man.
fan
Oh.
art, which is again filled out like Vicky's. Yeah, so
Did it look that complex, Tamara?
My father's side I knew was pretty filled out. I knew a lot about them. My mother's side, her grandfather was illegitimate. We knew that. So we knew what his name was. It was kind of hard to track them though, because there's a weird thing going on with their last names. I finally figured out what that was and we were able to pinpoint who they were. But I still, and I don't do a lot with the DNA, but I'd really be interested now if we could prove a lot of this with the DNA on that side. So, but people did a lot of work and filled in a lot of my mother's side that I did not know
Yes.
about.
So this is greatly improved then.
Yes.
yes.
Nice.
Like, what are some of the, we have Atkins twice?
There's a lot of my mother's from a mountain community, a farming community. And when I was doing research, those people stayed. I mean, they owned land. They came in the 1600s, they owned land. They stayed, they didn't leave it, just passed down from family to family. So, and they tended to, they didn't marry outside the community a lot. Now, my mother did. She married, my dad was from another part of West Virginia. But I did not realize until this year when I started looking at that all of my mother's siblings married people from surrounding farms. I didn't realize that before. So the same names come up over and over and over again because they have these big families. And who do you marry except the people in your community? So
So some endogamy is occurring in that community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to Appalachia.
Well, I'm looking at this. You have to go back 4 generations to get out of Virginia alone.
Even my dad's family, up as far as back,
Yeah.
I think the early 1600s, they were in
and
Virginia.
in the outer ring, there's only 2 that were actually born in Ireland. The rest have been in the States for forever.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Okay. Next.
There we go.
They're there.
See, she's got some over in Europe that
Mhm.
came over here, but hers was just, you just look at that area right there, how you were talking about. Yeah.
Appalachia 101.
Yeah.
Wow.
They just
But-
stayed. They came and they
And
stayed.
one person moved to the
Kansas?
the middle. Oh.
Yeah.
Curious about that one person.
So Benjamin Doggett, you have a Jamestown qualifying ancestor.
Oh, interesting.
You are the 12th great granddaughter of Benjamin Doggett. So he was born in 1636 in Ipswich, Suffolk, England. He married Jane Frances Garrett in 1664. They had 4 children in England and immigrated to Virginia in 1669. With the old style, new style calendar, it would have been 1670 in the new style. And they had 3 more children in Virginia. And then he became the rector of Christchurch Parish and later found the Whitechapel Parish, for which he also served as rector.
Nice.
That's a cool profile.
Very nice.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. Charles J. Hewitt was the first left-handed pitcher with the Pittsburgh Pirates in 1895 after playing 2 seasons of college baseball with the West Virginia University Mountaineers. Charles's daughter Flossie Hewitt married Harold McCormick, the brother of your great-grandmother Emma McCormick Hamilton. I thought that was a cool find.
Who died, and she died during the 1918 epidemic.
Oh.
So my grandmother was raised by by the McCormicks, the grandparents.
Oh, okay.
Only 18 months old when her mother died.
Oh, interesting.
That happens in families. Okay. Then someone found James Ransom Bronte, who apparently died in the Buffalo Creek flood disaster in February 1972 in Logan County, West Virginia. Now, is this new for you, or did you?
I had heard some talk in the Appalachia group about I did not know about the flood until someone had mentioned it. So I mean, I'd heard about floods in Appalachia. I did not realize that we had people that had died in that flood, though.
Yeah, because I noticed you kind of seemed to be in and out of the channel that was set up for you. So I wasn't sure how much you had been aware of what all was being said in there or not. Yeah, so the Buffalo Creek flood was a disaster that occurred in Logan County, West Virginia on February 26, 1972, when a coal slurry impoundment dam burst, causing significant loss of life and property damage. The impoundment dam managed by Pittston Coal Company had been declared satisfactory by a federal mine inspector 4 days earlier. In its legal filings, Pittston referred to the accident as an act of God. I kind of read a little bit about it, and to me, the company was definitely, from what I read, I do believe the company was at fault for it, and to refer to it as, oh, it was an act of God,
to get out of it.
If some of the work you're doing is what caused it, caused the damage, or at least help the damage along. Yeah, you do see floods and dams break and stuff, but depending on how that dam was made, I think kind of depends on how much it can stand for it. So.
I do remember my grandmother talking vaguely about it. I was younger, and you don't pay a lot of attention. So I do remember that was a big. That there were floods caused by the coal companies, which was a big deal, especially if you're farmers. They were farmers, so they were always kind of at odds with the coal companies, because there was, you need a clean environment to be successful farmers, and coal companies weren't exactly good neighbors. So
yeah, tragedies happen. Okay, so then Patty went and posted this about what degree are the Rockies to each other.
Oh,
interesting.
So this was at the beginning of the month.
Well, it was a week or so into the month, I think, when I thought of it.
As of July 1st.
No, it was like.
No, this was in June.
Oh,
these degrees were.
I did one about a week in June, and I did it again then the 1st of July.
28, 25, 26.
Yeah.
22, okay.
So, and I put this in because the next slide shows what the degree was that when I looked at the end.
Okay.
But I like how Patty did it with the beginning. So this is something that I definitely will change going forward. I will show
the before and after.
Yeah, do the before and the after in the same
Oh yeah, I think we
chart, so you don't have to kind of go back and forth on them.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Patty and I got pretty close. I think 21 versus 28 beforehand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
And me and Patty, 22 from
22.
30.
Well,
From 30.
Yeah.
and I'm still trying to connect my Scots-Irish line, because my second great grandfather was adopted, and it's thought that his birth father, was Armstrong, and went through Ireland back to Scotland, and that's what my my Y DNA is indicating. So I'd love to find connections to Ireland and
Mhm.
to get to it, but it's just a matter of confirmation.
Right.
Yeah.
Neat.
Okay.
So we're all related to each other.
Well,
Yes.
We're all connected anyway.
Everyone is connected, and there's a connection there somewhere. Everyone's related.
Yeah, that's
Greg,
very
you're
cool.
18 degrees away from yourself.
I know. That's funny, eh? I'm my own cousin. Like
I'm my own
I'm my own
cousin,
grandpa.
You're your own grandfather.
Yeah.
I'm my own cousin too. So
Yeah, that's cool.
yeah. So if we go
Which
to
is-
the next,
The
Yeah,
closest
which is neat
connection
because all the
is
cousins I grew up with,
Greg,
I am
the
still
real
cousins
Greg.
with them. It's just more distant biologically.
what was that, Patty?
The closest connection on the table is the two Gregs to each other.
Yeah.
That's right. That's funny.
So,
Wow.
and that's it for this RAWK. The next one will take place in September, which means the nomination for Rockies and to sign up to be a rocker will be in August. So if there's anyone you can think of, the person needs to be living and their CC7 needs to be under 2,000 in order to be nominated for RAWK.
Mhm.
And I'm
Right.
sure there are lots of people. And once that post goes up in beginning of August, nominate whoever you want. And if you want to sign up to help, you're more than welcome
Mhm.
to.
Excellent.
And do we have somewhere? I guess we do. Where or a list of people that have been rocked already, so we don't nominate them again.
I have a list, or there is a free space page, but I guess it's actually free space profile is the official name. I started keeping track of everybody. So what I will do is when I put up the G2G post to nominate, I can link that page so that you can look at it to see who already has been rocked. Just so that the post doesn't get too long with me listing everyone that we've already done so far.
Sure. Yeah, good idea.
Excellent.
And then the Padlets that we had where people put the interesting finds, I'll go ahead and mail those to you.
Nice.
Mail you what the link is for them so you can see it. And if you're on the main server, you can go into the We Will Rock channel where it has everything. Tamara, yours is in the Appalachia project. Just because I know when we have people from Appalachia, easier for the Appalachian project members to keep it all together. So we don't kind of have to go back and forth. So, but that's what I do is I go back and forth between. It's just like if someone was in the Ireland project was talking about Patty or Greg or anybody, John and I are kind of keep an eye on that. And then if there's something, we put it in the main channel. So, but yeah, you guys will get that.
Thank you very much, Kathy, for organizing all of that.
Yes, thank you for all your hard work and for all the team. Liza, I know they worked on my profiles. So thank you.
Yes. Yeah.
And to you, Kathy.
And
you worked on my side too.
And about halfway through the month of rocking, we have a RAWK research party where people can just drop in, and if they need help with anything, or if the Rocky wants to has some information or whatever, they can also drop in and give that information. So and Anne stayed the whole time for the RAWK. 12 hours.
Nice.
Wow.
And you
Oh,
hardcore.
wow.
Good stuff.
12 hours. So
Hardcore
And-
indeed.
how many have been rocked already? This is, I believe, number 9, and it's 5, so that would be 45 people so far.
Cool.
45 out of 1 million. The possibilities are endless.
But both Greg and I have, because we're adopted, we each had 2 profiles.
Yes.
So if you
Bonus.
ask, it's
A little bit more.
it's a couple, it's just 2 more, but
Excellent.
that's fine. So thank you everyone for joining. Patty,
Thank you.
especially thank
Yes.
you to
For
you
staying up so late.
staying
I
up
will
so
see
late
Patty
and
right now.
joining us, and the great work
was fun.
you've done. So
Mhm.
everyone, thank you.
Have a good
Stephen.
night or good morning, Patty.
Thank you so
Good
much.
morning, Patty. Yes.
See ya.
Thank you all.
Bye, everyone. Thanks
Bye,
again.
everyone.
Bye.
Ciao.